The Predator lets Dutch escape on purpose. After Dutch crushes the Predator with that log trap, things get weird. Instead of shooting or stabbing him, the Predator drops its weapons, takes off its mask, and basically says, "Alright, let's throw hands." That's not standard alien killer behavior. Then, there's that bizarre line the Predator repeats, Dutch's own, "What the hell are you?" And suddenly it's pushing buttons on its wrist like it's setting up a fireworks show. Except, somehow, Dutch escapes. The countdown is drawn out, almost generous. Fans think this was intentional. They believe the Predator saw Dutch not as prey anymore, but as an equal. Someone who earned the right to walk away. It didn't want to kill him. It wanted him to survive. It let Dutch live, not out of mercy, but out of some twisted sense of warrior code. The trap, the brawl, the self-destruct, all part of a planned exit. Super predators are genetic modifications created by the original race. They're bigger, meaner, and look like they've skipped leg day for full-body monster workouts. Their skin's darker and more scaled, their faces are longer with that sharp snout-like look, and those dreadlocks sweep back like they're permanently caught in a wind tunnel. Fans argue they look completely different. Expanded lore is full of references to hybrids and bioengineered predators, especially ones spliced with other DNA, and the upgrade predator flat out confirms that genetic enhancement is a thing in this universe. According to theory supporters, that means the supers could have been built, not born. Some think it started with a civil war, a break from the traditional Yautja who followed hunting honor codes, and these supers turned to science, modified themselves, and became a rogue branch. The behavior shift, physical mutations, and lore about heretic clans all stack up to say these things were designed for domination, not tradition. By the way, if you guys like movie content like this, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Dutch's team was unknowingly playing a game. From the start, nothing about that mission feels right. Dutch thinks he's rescuing officials, but instead finds a wrecked chopper and skinned Green Berets, guys he actually knew. The corpses hang like grotesque trophies, and some fans say that was the opening move. A twisted invitation from the Predator, the ambush at the guerrilla camp only pulls them deeper, and then the real hunt starts. The Predator stalks them slowly, using heat vision, cloaking, and picking them off one by one without rushing. It lets them regroup, lay traps, and even land a hit. That's not random killing, it's pacing. And the way it toys with them, it's psychological. Leaving bodies, watching from trees, baiting their every move. Then, when Dutch's team's nearly wiped out, the Predator drops its tech and goes full gladiator, bare hands, no helmet. The whole thing plays out like a carefully crafted ritual. The jungle becomes a game board, and Dutch's squad walks straight into it without knowing the rules. They weren't on a mission, they were players. And the Predator, it was running the whole twisted show from the start. Prometheus is a sequel to the Alien vs. Predators movies. Fans who support this idea start with the shared universe setup. The AVP films already pulled Xenomorphs and Yautja into the same timeline, and Prometheus sits right in that same franchise lineup. In fact, every major Alien timeline breakdown often lists AVP, then Prometheus, then Alien, like a domino line of weird evolutionary nightmares. The events of AVP happen earlier, way back in human history, while Prometheus picks things up centuries later with a deeper look into Xenomorph origins. Supporters say that's no coincidence. They point to the engineers in Prometheus as the possible puppet masters behind the bioweapons we see in AVP. Some go even further, tying Blade Runner into the same megaverse, connecting synthetic life, xenomorphs, and ancient predator hunting rituals like it's all one bizarre alien family tree. It's a layered timeline, but the way the lore overlaps, creatures, tech, mythologies, makes the theory feel like a jigsaw that fits a little too perfectly to ignore. The original Predator is in the jungle because he's an outcast. He shows up alone, no ship in sight, no squad, no backup, just him and a jungle full of confused humans. Fans backing this theory say that's not a standard hunt, it's banishment. Yautja usually operate in clans or small groups, but this guy, he's solo, and that screams exile. And it's not like he's picking off civilians or animals, he's only going after armed soldiers, the most dangerous targets. That selectiveness fits with the idea that he's trying to prove something, maybe regain lost status by hunting elite prey on his own. The jungle setting makes it worse, isolated, brutal, and totally unforgiving. The fact that he doesn't communicate, doesn't call for help, and dies without a trace of any support all strengthens the read that this is a trial. Some fans even argue Earth is the dumping ground for failures or rejects, a place where only the outcasts go, hoping to earn their way back home. The Predator is a critique of masculinity. It throws you into a jungle with a team of walking testosterone ads, all muscles, guns, and macho banter. Every guy's basically a living action figure. From the arm wrestle handshake to the cigar chomping one-liners, it's wall-to-wall alpha energy. But that's the setup. The movie movie then spends its runtime tearing those archetypes down. Guns don't work, strength doesn't save anyone, the Predator dismantles them, one by one, and each death feels like a hit to some chunk of the classic male ideal. The funny guy, the silent killer, the overconfident brute, all crushed by something smarter, quieter, and way more efficient. The jungle strips the team of their bravado until Dutch's survival comes down to mud, traps, and brains, not biceps. The shift from action to horror pushes the theme harder. It's not about being the toughest, it's about being smart enough to stay alive. By the end, all the noise is gone, and so is the myth of invincible masculinity. The alien from The Thing stole a Predator ship. The theory kicks off with that eerie spacecraft buried in Antarctic ice. It's clearly not human, and fans argue it doesn't look like it was made by the Thing either. Instead, they say it belongs to the Yautja. Predators are galaxy-hopping trophy hunters, so them cruising over Earth's poles for a hunt totally fits. According to the theory, the Thing wasn't the original pilot. It stowed away, assimilated the crew, and hijacked the ship. Its ability to copy biology, and by extension memory, means it could have picked up enough knowledge to fly. But that plan didn't go smoothly. The takeover caused chaos, the ship crashed, and the frozen terror waited for humans to dig it out decades later. The damaged vessel, the lack of crew, and the frozen crash site all line up with a Yautja hunt gone wrong. It's basically a sci-fi train wreck. Hunter meets Parasite, Parasite wins, ship crashes, apocalypse begins. Predators are mutated versions of engineers. Supporters of this theory start with the shared universe idea that ties engineers and Yautja together through expanded lore, comics, and fan-backed crossovers. Engineers are introduced as advanced life creators, seeding DNA and shaping species across galaxies. Some fans argue that the Yautja were one of those engineered species, not naturally evolved, but born from genetic manipulation. The theory deepens with comparisons. Both are large, humanoid, incredibly strong, and have mastery of advanced technology. There's even lore showing an engineer beating a predator in combat, which gets used to suggest that Yautja are the offshoots, physically impressive, but still a degraded form of their creators. Other threads propose the predators were a failed or corrupted project, twisted over time into hunters rather than caretakers. Their obsession with strength and survival reflects a mutation of the engineer's role as creators. It's not just a physical link. Thematically, it's creation turned predation, evolution turned obsession. The original Predator had no honor. In the 1987 film, there's no sign of that so-called hunting code fans cling to in later entries. The jungle hunter doesn't duel, doesn't challenge, doesn't even speak. It stalks from the trees, uses a cloaking device, and fires plasma blasts from a shoulder cannon, while the humans flail in confusion. It never gives anyone a chance. One by one, it takes them out before they even know what's happening. That's not noble, that's efficient. Fans backing this theory say the Predator only fights Dutch hand-to-hand because it's backed into a corner, not because of some sacred rule. And back then, no honor code even existed in canon. That came later retrofitted into lore that fans started treating like gospel. In the original, the Predator acts more like a trophy-hunting assassin than some mythic warrior. Stealth, gadgets, and zero mercy. It's a monster playing with its prey, not a soldier respecting a code. Predator is an AIDS parable. The film drops a hyper-masculine squad into a jungle, then picks them off with an unseen, invasive force. A silent killer that stalks and destroys from within. Supporters of this theory say it mirrors the fear that surrounded AIDS in the 1980s. A hidden threat, striking healthy men, ignoring toughness or status. The Predator's attacks are brutal and sudden, like an unseen virus shredding through muscle and bravado. Critics point out how the film frames male bodies with near obsession, sweaty, flexing, constantly touching, creating a charged atmosphere that plays with homoerotic tension. That tension, some argue, heightens the metaphor. The tough guys can't shoot their way out, can't talk tough at it, and their bodies offer no protection. One by one, they fall, and all that masculine armor counts for nothing. It's a breakdown of invincibility, of control, and to some viewers, a reflection of how AIDS shattered illusions of safety, masculinity, and dominance during a time of fear and stigma. The Predator is an intergalactic cop. Fans backing this theory say the Yautja enforces a code. In the 1987 film, the Predator targets armed men, not civilians, and skips over the unthreatening entirely. That selective behavior has led some to argue it acts more like a cosmic enforcer than a random killer. Its tech is advanced, its purpose seems precise, and the kills aren't chaotic. They're methodical. The team it goes after, combat trained, weaponized, violent. In that light, the Predator is removing high-threat individuals from the board. It doesn't lecture or read rights, but it sure delivers consequences. Some fans even suggest Earth is used like a proving ground, where predators test themselves by enforcing their own brutal justice. The original concept, hunting the most dangerous game, fits perfectly with that reading. If they're cleaning up violent species, one firefight at a time, then maybe the predator's not a monster, maybe it's a badge with claws. The city predator was hunting the feds. In Predator 2, the city predator doesn't just target gang members, he escalates. After wiping out cartel thugs and the Voodoo posse, City Hunter moves straight into law enforcement territory. He kills a detective's partner, slaughters police on the subway, and then takes out an entire government task force like he's checking boxes off a hit list. Supporters of this theory point out that once cops and feds start poking around, they become just as worthy as gang members, armed, dangerous, and now interfering. The Predator doesn't discriminate by badge, only by threat level. He stalks Detective Harrigan personally, not because he's a gangster, but because he's become a challenge. Some fans even call him a psycho-vigilante, handing out jungle justice with zero regard for jurisdiction. The fact that he spares the pregnant cop but skins the government squad backs the theory that feds were fair game. For City Hunter, lawmen were just the next level of prey. The OG Predator was a peacekeeper. Supporters of this theory argue that the 1987 jungle hunt was a mission. The Predator only targets armed combatants, ignores civilians, and picks off a group of mercenaries deep in hostile territory. That's not chaos, that's selective enforcement. Fans say the Yocha may be acting as a cosmic deterrent, a warning shot for humans playing too rough with warfare and violence. Its targets are militarized, morally gray, and very much part of the machine. And with interstellar tech like cloaking, plasma cannons, and surgical precision, this creature's not some dumb brute. It could be carrying out a directive: seek, isolate, eliminate. Its silence adds to the mystery. No speech, no monologue, no motive laid bare. That blank slate lets fans frame it as a galactic cop or peacekeeper showing up when Earth gets too reckless. The jungle was a cleanup site, and Dutch's crew were the mess. Predators are fascinated by humans since sentience is rare. The Yautja hunt what challenges them. Their lore makes it clear. They seek prey that's dangerous, clever, and capable of fighting back. Humans hit all those marks. We use weapons, build traps, adapt fast, and fight like hell when cornered. In fact, fans point out that humans are studied. Newer media even shows predators watching, learning, testing human behavior before striking. That's not mindless hunting, that's targeted obsession. Other species might have the brute strength or sharp teeth, but humans bring strategy and chaos, and for the Yautja, that's thrilling. Sentient species with tools, tactics, and grit don't show up on every planet. So when humans appear on the radar, it's about facing something unpredictable. Fans argue that's why we're prized prey, rare, strange, and smart enough to make the kill actually mean something. Predator is part of the Val Verde cinematic universe. Fans who follow this theory start with geography. The mission Dutch's team takes on happens near or inside the borders of Val Verde, the same fictional country used in Commando, Die Hard 2, and a bunch of other action films from that era. Val Verde was created by screenwriter Stephen E. D'Souza as a kind of plug-in nation, and it shows up wherever covert military ops, rogue dictators, or unauthorized explosions are needed. According to the Val Verde wiki, Predator's jungle setting fits neatly into that fictional map. That's all it takes to qualify for membership in the VVCU, not a shared character or crossover event, just a shared setting. By that logic, Predator exists in the same universe as John Matrix and possibly even John McClane. For fans, that turns Predator from isolated alien thriller into part of a wider chaotic action movie timeline. One jungle, one fake country, one cinematic universe. The CIA knew of the Predator and didn't tell Dylan's team. Supporters of this theory point to the shady setup from the start. Dylan lies to Dutch, claiming it's a hostage rescue when it's actually a CIA-backed op tied to previous missions. The crashed helicopter and skinned Green Berets, that wasn't a surprise to Dylan. Fans argue the CIA had already lost men in that jungle and knew something non-human was out there. The Predator was a classified problem. The theory goes deeper. Dylan was sent in not to rescue anyone, but to confirm what happened to the first team. Dutch's squad was used as bait, highly trained, well-armed, and expendable. The CIA, in this view, engineered a trap. Sending in a team with no intel, no warning, and no backup only makes sense if they knew the threat and wanted deniability. Dutch was there to clean up, but the CIA already knew the jungle was hunting back. Naru gifts the Adolini pistol to the predators. In Prey, she ends the feral predator with grit, skill, and a stolen flintlock. The same engraved Adolini 1715 pistol that shows up centuries later in Predator 2. After the fight, she returns to her tribe, pistol in hand, and becomes war chief. But by 1997, that pistol's in Predator hands again, given to Mike Harrigan by a clan elder. Fans connect the dots. bullets. The pistol had to make its way back, and the most likely explanation, Naru gave it to them. Whether as a gesture of respect, trade, or simply left behind during a post-battle predator retrieval, supporters say the Yautja reclaimed it because it mattered. The weapon's a link between worthy kills. Some call it a symbol, a cross-species acknowledgement of combat honor. So when Greyback hands it over in Predator 2, it's not random, it's legacy. Starting with Naru, sealed in blood, and passed down like a story only the predators know how to finish. Riddick was raised by a predator. Fans who back this theory say his brutal efficiency, animal-like reflexes, and near superhuman instincts are the result of Yautja training. According to the theory, a predator found Riddick as a child, possibly after his homeworld fell or during some off-world conflict, and instead of killing him, saw potential. What followed? A childhood shaped by survival drills, combat rituals, and alien hunting ethics. Riddick's stealth, night vision, and kill or be killed mentality line up suspiciously well with Yautja traits. He fights like them, moves like them, even seems to understand the language of predators. Not just literal, but cultural. Some versions of the theory even suggest the Furion backstory is a cover or an implant, used to explain traits that feel too specialized for a human. He's not just tough, he's honed. And if that honing came from a predator, it would explain why Riddick feels less like a man and more like the human version of a Yautja ghost. Predators sent to Earth are exiles. According to expanded lore, there's even a Yautja officially called the exiled predator, banished from the homeworld and forced to hunt alone in remote areas far from standard clan territory. Fans take that concept and run with it, arguing that Earth is a dumping ground, a place where bad bloods, disgraced warriors, or underperforming Yautja get sent to redeem themselves or die trying. It fits. Despite all their tech, predators on Earth keep getting taken down by humans. That's less confusing if those aren't elite hunters. They're rejects. One theory even calls Earth the predator equivalent of detention. Survive or be forgotten. Some fans cite the sloppy tactics, risk-taking, and lack of backup as signs they've been cut off from clan support. With social hierarchy and punishment baked into Yautja culture, Exile fits perfectly. So when a predator shows up alone on Earth with something to prove, it might not be a hunt, it might be a sentence. Billy's medicine bag belonged to Naru. Fans who support this theory point to the visual echo between Naru's pouch in Prey and the medicine bag Billy wears in Predator. It's subtle, but deliberate looking, and the theory builds from there. The idea is that Naru's bag, a tribal artifact tied to healing, tradition, or spiritual protection, was passed down through generations, eventually ending up with Billy's soul in 1987. Some even claim Billy is the reincarnation of Naru's brother, a connection allegedly mentioned in early Prey script discussions. Both Billy and Naru's brother face the predator alone. Both stand their ground and both die in that defiant moment, which fans interpret as more than coincidence. The bag becomes more than an accessory. It's a relic, a symbol of legacy. It's the through line between the Comanche of 1719 and the native scout tracking something invisible in the jungle centuries later. Whether by bloodline or spirit, the pouch ties their fates together. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.